Cool, getting some comments here. So let's see what folks are saying. Rick says, while playing / practicing, I toyed with the idea of grouping lowercase letter forms according to essential / common strokes. Kind of makes sense. Then trying to get those strokes as consistent as possible among the letters in that group. Cool. So for example, group 1, A, C, D, E, G, the essential or common stroke being the left side C-ish looking stroke. Yeah, I see that. Group 2, like B, P, and so on. I'm after consistency, legibility, and speed here. Yeah, those are three really important things for, I think, us all as visual note takers to get down that consistency, legibility, and speed. And one activity that I thought to add to the, I guess it will probably be the handwritten font section. You might have heard that both with practicing your writing and also with practicing your drawing, one way to do that practice is simply to trace. You can trace letters, you can trace images, just so that your hand gets used to making marks in a particular page. What I thought of doing, so that you wouldn't have to worry about finding tracing paper or anything like that, I wanted to put together some printable documents of just alphabets, alphabets in particular fonts. Sorry, phones are in here. That will stop in a second. A printable sheet of handwritten fonts, but the fonts themselves are in a really light gray color, so that you can just print that out, and then instead of having to have another paper to trace over, you can just write over those light gray marks to get down your consistency, your legibility, and your speed. Because if you have those to practice from, you're practicing from something consistent. And you could even do this with your own font as well. So we could go through this process of creating your own font, getting the letters how you want them to be, and then printing out one of these practice sheets where your letters are in light gray. And then to get that consistency, legibility, and speed down, just practice from that essentially consistent template to work on all those. So I'll try to get that type of practice worksheet up, both with kind of standard fonts like Times New Roman and a few others to get kind of typical styles down. But then you could also create your own, and maybe I will. Maybe I'll include my font. I'll create a handwritten font and then do one of those worksheets of that style for my own font as well. We'll see how that goes. If you have any thoughts or comments on that type of handwriting practice worksheet, if that sounds cool or dumb or makes you think of something else, let me know. Thanks for your note there, Rick. Tornaby says, I second Stefan. I did it over a few times. They have directions, and yes, the lines are for what you just described. Okay, cool. So these lines are to keep track of how high your D goes and how low your P goes, that sort of stuff. Stefan mentioned my service printed light gray letters as guidelines. That helped a lot. Okay, cool. So that's like what I was thinking of there. Awesome. Thank you guys for your comments. Keep them coming. I'm excited about all this tech stuff. It's fun to dig into. The way you write text is one. I mean, it is one of the major ways of one of the major components of visual note taking. But to kind of dig in this far on that particular topic is cool, because we get really good at it, and then as we pull back and use those handwritten fonts within our notes, and then combine layout and imagery as we'll do in future weeks, I think this time spent digging in specifically on this topic for a bit will pay off as we then combine it with the other factors in the weeks to come. Cool. So check those out if you feel like creating your own font.